So here we have from Kanile'a ukulele, truly a masterpiece of an instrument, not only in build quality, not only in play quality, but a literal art piece in physical form in the shape of an ukulele. This is, I don't want to say as good as it gets because Kanile'a always just pushes the boundaries of how insanely beautiful their instruments can get, especially with their choices of curly koa and how much crazy wood sets and just kind of crazy koa that you can get with Kanile'a ukuleles. And they just outdid themselves again. I've don't think I've seen a lot of crazy stuff from Kanile'a, but this is one of those woods where or the wood sets on this. I mean, just look at that. Look at the little tan right here, and huge, big curl lines, striking colors. I mean, just look at that. I mean, this exemplifies pretty much what Hawaiian koa is. You have the dark streaks, you have the big, fat grain patterns that goes from side to side. This one is especially big. You'll have, a set that has super huge grain patterns like this. You'll have some that are like more like kind of like their books stacked on top of each other. There's very tight, like tight grain patterns like this, or like others, but this one is just completely like chainsaw, or just like goes like that. So again, it has a lot of that, a lot of the dark streaks. It has the very orange colors right here, the darker kinds of like brown right here, more of that kind of sapwood here in the middle, and it's perfectly book matched. For me, I'm a very like when I the kind of koa that I like really book match koa that has like kind of like a systematic kind of design to it, pretty much something like this. So in my subjective opinion, this is like pretty as close to perfect as it can get until Kanile'a just builds another one where I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's another perfect instrument from them. But this is just an absolutely phenomenal instrument and a perfect textbook definition of just like how beautiful koa instruments can be, especially when built by Kanile'a. This one has a side port, and notice how on the back of this instrument there's the paua abalone shell around the back of the instrument. Well, more like it's on the front of the instrument, which is the more kind of obvious choice, but then even having it here on the back of the instrument, just that way you can see in its full entirety how like the abalone pairs with the just perfect set of koa, really. And of course, never can go wrong with having the black ebony binding on the back and front to really have that crisp cutoff with the koa and then against the black. And of course, having black everywhere else too, with the bridge pens here on the bridge, here on the fretboard, and then even here in the scoop cutaway. And just like with the other Kanile'as that have been coming out, this one has the true relief. So there's, as you can see, hopefully with the camera angle, the ukulele dips down right here. And the purpose of that is so that when you have your forearm on the instrument, it just works. It just feels very comfortable. It just naturally curves in the angle of which your forearm just naturally rests here. So it doesn't dig into your arm or it's not uncomfortable. It just works. It just feels very right. Of course, you have your fret markers on 3, 5, 7, 10, double dot 12, 15, as well as the fret markers here on the side in your paua abalone shell. Of course, your satin neck here, and then your thin slotted headstock with the stealth goto tuners in that gun metallic color here. And then paua abalone K here on the top with your black ebony headstock. Again, Kanile'a has knocked it out of the park, but I feel like whenever I play a Kanile'a of this magnitude, I'm just always repeating myself because Kanile'a is not a company that just makes one and then you don't see another ukulele that looks like this for a long time. They just keep making absolutely stunning instruments, and this is just another one of those like, wow. Now getting into the sound, nice deep sound, I love it. And it's super articulate, super crisping on that A string. It really sings. And for someone like me who's a fingerstyle player and more kind of classically trained, I always try to look for a pretty crispy A string because I want to make sure that the A string can cut throughout the other three strings, because that's usually where I like to play the melody. So like if I can play a line like this, I can really bring that melody out while I'm still using like the other three strings as like filler notes or like accompaniment notes. So this, I don't have to pluck hard at all because that A string just sings wonderfully. And then with this instrument too, the note separation, meaning if I pluck from top to bottom the G, C, E, A strings, just notice how nothing gets muddied out, nothing overpowers one. It's not like the G string overpowers the C string. You can hear everything pretty equal, pretty just straight across the board. Especially that A string. I love that the A string is the loudest string to my ears. It just slices through everything, which for me I feel is so important. For me as a fingerstyle player. It just sings. But then if I want to like strum, extremely well balanced. Super clean. And I love the setup too on this. It's like, it's perfect. Maybe just a little high for my personal taste, but in terms of like, I want to strum on this, I want to strum really hard on this, I want to be super soft, play really delicately on this. I think this instrument can do it all. It's a fantastic instrument. How clean that is, even up here. And the vibrato. You can hear each individual. It's just such a pleasant sound to my ears. It just sounds so good. Nice ballad sound. A lot of highs on the E and A. Super crisp, super clean. And super clean harmonics too, so. There's nothing this instrument can't do. It does it all. So, and the looks, really, you got really all the looks you can ever possibly have for an ukulele. So it's got it all. So I'm going to try to do my best to do justice for this instrument. So here we go. So sweet, that A string. And here's what this ukulele would sound like with a little bit of strumming.